Everyone wants endless leads, but everyone's using the wrong bait. If you want to get a lot of leads in 2026, it's not by giving away crappy ebooks, low value videos. It's by creating tools and services and apps and websites that add value to people's lives. And the way you do that is by learning how to vibe code. In this video, we're going to show you some ways that you can vibe code your way to a lot of leads, or you can vibe code your way to selling some kind of software platform. And the best part about it is you do not need to know a single line of code. You don't even need to know what to do. You just need to know what questions to ask. And now for me, this all started because I was looking for a service that I could use to lock down my custom GTPs. Now, custom GTP is basically a chat that you pre-program that helps you get to an end result. And I wanted to give this to my membership base, but I didn't want to give out the link to the GTP because it could easily be shared. So I dared to ask, is there a service that's going to allow me to lock down my GTPs? And I did find one, and I checked out the pricing. Okay, it's reasonably priced for $9. Okay, the upgrade, $50. But what was crazy to me is that this service wanted 10% of every sale I made on my product. Are you freaking crazy? So what I wanted to do is not use a service that's going to take so much, 10% plus your Stripe fees, plus refunds and all that stuff. That's a big chunky of change. So what I wanted to do is figure out if I could create a service like this, or figure out how to lock down my GTPs the same way that this company does, without having to pay a 10% fee. Now, the way that service works is it creates a paywall. When someone buys it, it creates a database, and then the chat will query the database to see if someone actually purchased it. So I just asked chat, could I do it myself? And it turns out I could. Now, the best thing about it is I did not know where to start. I just asked the first question, and it took me down a rabbit hole that led me to getting it done. So this is one of my GTPs that locked down. This is a GTP I created that creates realistic characters. And I wanted to give this to my membership base, but I didn't want anyone to get access to it that's not a part of my membership base, right? So the way this one works is when someone buys it through my funnel builder, the HBA funnel builder, I rigged it up so a way that it will create a database, and the chat will actually verify that someone purchased it by adding in a token code that gets sent after they purchase, or they can just put in their email in this case. And they put in their email, and it's going to put in the wrong email to show you how it works. Go ahead and hit send. Boom, they can't access it. Now, the cool thing is this chat is actually public, so people could find their way here, and this takes them to the sales page for it. But let's just go ahead and put in their proper email, which I will remove after this video. And it's going to allow me to have access to this chat and a knowledge base that I curated for this app. Now, what this app does is it creates realistic characters when you just put in minor information that you could use to create ads, to create videos. And it's going to show you how it works quickly, and to show you how I could generate endless leads with this, right? So let's go ahead and put in just some random information. We'll say 68-year-old Ethiopian shaman. I think I spelled that wrong, but anyways, what it does is it goes ahead and creates a character profile. It gets the body dimensions right, even comes up with a backstory, personal profile, clothing, the structure and anatomy, the body, the head, minute detail that you need to create realistic avatars using these AI programs. And it does all the work for you. And you can go ahead and actually change up some things if you don't like it here. We're going to go ahead and improve this prompt. Okay. And then it'll actually generate the prompt here. Now, chat is not the best at creating our images, but what I can do is just take all this information right here, throw it in a Nana Banana, and I actually did that and came up with this one here. Let's just show you guys the detail. A lot of work went into this, and to be able to get these realistic characters, right, without actually trying. You just copy the prompt. Okay, so I can give this away, or I could sell it. But if I give it away, I get endless leads. A lot of people would want to have something like this that allows them to pretty much come up with their characters without having to think about it. They just put in a little bit of detail, boom, they get a character, right? Now, another thing I did is I actually figured that a lot of people would want to learn how to lock down their GTPs themselves instead of paying this ridiculous 10% fee. So I created another GTP, right here that shows you how to do that. I can sell this or I can give it away. If I give it away, you get endless leads, right? And then inside of the training, I have affiliate links inside. So this is basically what I'm saying is I'm generating these leads to sell affiliate offers, okay? Now, these are some minor things I've done, but I'm gonna show you guys a more complex thing I did. Now, the next thing I created took a little more effort, but once again, I didn't know the first place to start. I just asked questions, and it took me down a rabbit hole that led to a completion of a fully functional app. And we're going to show you guys my workflow, but let me just go over this real quick. So what I did here is I created an app for people who read books, and I wanted to have a way to gamify reading the books that they're reading and also track all the books in their inventory. And I wanted to add a few more features that I didn't see in other apps like this. So let me show you guys how this works here. First off, they have their library, and they can basically scan in all of their books and keep track of the books they've read. I don't know about you guys, I have a lot of books stacked up that I have not read, right? So now I can take the time to curate my library and figure out exactly what I need to read and what I don't need to read. But I can also keep track of the things that I've been reading so I can see how much effort I'm putting into it over time, right? And also there is a community element to this that's not hooked up yet, which kind of gamifies it, gives points for people who read the longest. But also, let me show you guys a couple more features about this app. And people can come here, the settings, and they can actually turn to the dark mode as well. But they can set the timer, the reading timer, and also have music playing. So I have a lot of these music playlists here available. Let's just go ahead and click guitar. Let me go back to the dashboard to show you how this works. This will be the book that I'm currently reading. I will go ahead here, and whenever I start reading, I can go ahead and press set the time I want, which is just something we got to fix here. You can see that the color text is not working, but we're going to do some vibe coding to fix that in this session here. But I can go ahead and click start. And now I'm listening to some guitar music, just relaxing, reading my book, meditating even. But there's a lot of different playlists people can use. Maybe you want to listen to rain, desert wind, spring birds while you're reading. Okay, where's another one here? Ocean waves. How about some jazz? Okay, I don't know about that track. Let me skip the song. That's more like it. Okay. And, you know, I can actually navigate the other pages. There's a player here that pops up. And it keeps track of the stats, basically. So let me go back. And normally you would finish this timer. Let's go ahead and click stop.
Your reading habit is growing stronger.
Okay, I do got to fix that voice, which will be fixed when I add in Google, the API or the open AI API for voice. But anyways, I can go ahead and update what I've read here. Let's just say I read 100 pages a session, which would probably be longer than 15 minutes. But it updates down here in my total stats. And I also have a stats page, which keeps track of all that stuff. I also got reading goals and things like that. So very useful for anyone who wants to read. Now, pretty much, I think a lot of people would want to use this app so I can give it away for free and pretty much get endless leads. And I can limit it, and then I can also create something, an upgrade to, so I can make some money off it. Or also, with this kind of app, is you can have reviews. So I got a couple ad zones in place, and every book in here is pulled from the Google library, which is not set up yet. And of course, it's going to link to Amazon. So this is going to be a way for me to earn money as an affiliate. Okay, I can give away this to people who read books, and if people buy books for Amazon, I earn extra cash. All right, so how did I get here? Now, the first thing you do before you do any vibe coding is you need to flesh out the idea you want to create. So what you're going to do is open up any chat, and you're kind of do a powwow session to figure out exactly what you want to build. Go back and forth with chat, ask it what kind of features, ask it how it would look. And then the next thing I needed to do is I asked it to create a prompt that I can put in to my vibe coding tool that's going to help me get off to a fast start. All right. Now, the vibe coding tool that I'm using is Codex. It's from ChatGPT. If you guys open chat, you can click on Codex. Now, I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm not qualified to tell you how to set this up. Okay. That being said, when I used this for the first time, I did not know anything. All I did was I just copied this prompt, pasted it in here like so, hit enter, and went down a rabbit hole that led me to be able to set this up. All right. Now, what I mean by that is there's a couple things you got to do on your computer. You have to download .NET framework. You may have to update some files in your Windows. If you're a Mac, you might have to update some stuff too. and I didn't know what to do. Okay, I put in the prompt. It started working. I said, "How can I look? How can I see this? Oh, you got to set this up," and it basically showed me exactly what I needed to do. And all I really had to do was just install a few different things for it to work. Okay, so definitely you're going to want to check out a Codex video. But we're going to do a little bit of vibe coding on my builders, kind of show you what you can expect. First, when you put in your prompt, it's going to do a lot of building. Okay. And then at that point, you're at the point where you can start making customizations and making sure things actually work the way they're supposed to. So what I'm going to do is go to the book tracker page because there is an issue here. But first off, I'm just going to show you guys something. You can type in what you want to have happen, or you can just speak it. One of the things I noticed about the book page is the countdown timer, the background, that's a navy blue to black. I really want to change it. So how about we do something like an orange to kind of a reddish for the background for that player. Not the player, for the timer. I gotta make sure I say that right. Otherwise, it's going to fix this one here. So I went off and set that off. Okay, now this little update shouldn't take too long. I'm just going to sit back and let it go ahead and change the color of the timers. Okay, there it is. Okay. Hey, I don't like what you did. Go ahead and undo that immediately. Revert back to the previous color. I'm going to let that cook, but I got a couple other issues on the site. One of the things I noticed with this timer is if they don't complete it and they click stop, the reading time does not update. I noticed that on the books page, when someone starts the countdown timer, and let's just say they finish early, at the book card, we have the reading timer minutes there. It does not update. So we want to make sure that when someone either completes the timer, that on the book page itself, that the reading time actually updates. Right now it says 0. It either does this when they complete the timer, or if they stop early, make sure the proper amount of minutes read is update. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. Now this one is definitely going to take a lot longer to do. And I just want to make sure that it's actually not working. Well, I would have to go for a whole minute, right?
Nice session.
Okay, the page count's updating, but the reading time is not updating. Let me see if I can find any other issues that I need to fix, but this is pretty much fully functional, other than a couple issues with the design. Let's just go to dark mode. I'm going to check some of the pages out. Everything looks good here. Let me go to book tracker. Click on see all. It looks like I fixed all the issues. Unfortunately for this session, I've already fixed most of the things. The only thing that needed to be fixed was that countdown timer. Now, one of the things I also need to do is I need to figure out exactly how to hook up the API that pulls in the book information. And really, the whole point of this video is you do not need to know, okay? You simply ask it, and it's going to tell you what you need to do, okay? Now, that's it. This is a very rough video on vibe coding, so definitely check out some resources. I'll probably have links below to some videos you can watch, but I got started without knowing a single thing. And really, the best way to get a lot of leads is by creating useful softwares that you can give away, or you can even sell too. It's up to you.
You really want to know the secret to make ultra-realistic AI images? Forget about it. You ain't ready. Listen carefully, wise guy. Comment real below to get access to the Realism Engine GPT. Capiche?